Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Today we got a very special presentation. We got a fancy PowerPoint. We're going to discuss how you can become the smart money, how you can become the person who every time they place a trade, you know exactly what you're doing, you know exactly what you're looking for, and you have massive conviction that you're going to be on the right side of each and every trade. We had quite a few people join the boot camp this month, and especially in the last couple of weeks, because the market is not obvious anymore, and you just need to really understand what you're doing. And that's a very smart investment. If you think about the tiny $295 investment compared to how much you risk on each trade, it's really a drop in the bucket for one 30-day investment that you make in yourself for an asset that you have for the rest of your life, which is you understand how to make money. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go behind the curtain. We're going to take you a little bit into the order flow masterclass and the key principles of exactly what to do when you're looking at your stock charts, exactly why certain stocks go up like butter. They just keep floating higher. And then why other stocks that you trade might seem like you're pulling your hair out of your head and you're just not sure what you're doing. And actually, those are the trades where you start to lose confidence in your ability. You start to doubt that you could ever even make money in the first place. I got news for you. It's probably not you. It's probably the stocks you're choosing. And that's a big deal because once you start to understand order flow, once you start to understand tape reading, it becomes a lot easier to be patient because now you know exactly what you're looking for, which that's an exciting thing to say. Well, I don't see anything, so you just don't put your money in harm's way. And then when it is obvious, you basically just sit back and you're really now just managing trades. So what happens between entry and exit is really the only thing you need to do, which, by the way, I want to bring up something very important. There's a lot of people right now that are working from home who have extra time, who might have been downsized or just looking for some extra cash flow from month to month. So I just want to get something across very clearly at the beginning before we start the presentation. All of the ideas that I discuss, every single scenario, starts out on the higher time frames. And what that means is the monthly charts, the weekly charts, and the daily charts. Then we determine if they're swing trades or day trade only. And the only reason it might be a day trade is because it might have gone too far too fast, and the probabilities of following through over the next 3 to 5 days for cash flow, they're just lower. But everything I'm about to show you right now, first and foremost, would be a trade that you could get involved with today and get out 5 days from now, creating that extra cash flow every single month. So if you think about it, the boot camp is really a 30-day seminar of real-time coaching and mentoring, and you get the entire course. So I'm just going to show you like a little snippet of the course right now, and I just want to expand your mind a little bit so that when you place your trades today, you're really thinking about, am I trading with order flow, and is it obvious right now? And if you want to make the investment to join me for the next 30 days, I'd be honored. I'd love to see you behind the curtain. If you happen to be watching this and you're in the boot camp right now, I think it's very important that we keep drilling home what matters the most, and that's tracking and following the smart money, both from the longer picture right down to what you want to do today. So let's head on over to the fancy PowerPoint and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is order flow and exactly what is order flow, okay? And really, my goal is for you to become the smart money. My goal is for you to know exactly what you're doing like that every time you look at a chart. So order flow is an edge that's always on the right side of the smart money. So once you determine what order flow looks like exactly from the smallest chart all the way up to the biggest chart, then it's really up to you. Then it's not on the market anymore. Then it's up to you to say, okay, I either see it or I don't. And one of my first trading mentors gave me this great quote that said, if it's hard to find, it's not there. And what I want to point out to you today is I want to show you what it looks like when it's absolutely there. So you'll know, bam, there it is. I see it. It's perfect. Or I don't see anything. Go get a coffee and just stay in cash. So a trading edge that was born for me personally in April of 2000 when I first started trading. And this is an old school version of what's known as a level 2 box. You'll notice that we have the bid, we have the offer, and we have time and sales. But the first thing that should be pointed out here is obviously these are in fractions. They're not in fractions anymore, right? In 2000 they were. But what I want to point out is here, and this is the very foundation of order flow, the very foundation of tape reading, the very foundation of you knowing exactly what you need to look for. So these symbols here are what are known as market maker IDs. So this one here is GSCO is Goldman Sachs. This is Merrill Lynch. This is Morgan Stanley. And ARCA is what's known as an ECN. That's a way that we can place orders. So back in the day, way back in 2000, we would actually buy at 54 and 1/16 and sell it here. So it was known as scalping teenies back in the day. But we had this really reliable, predictable edge. And that was when we saw active selling, which is in red. And let's say this is red, 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 a lot of red. So you're like, oh my gosh, this thing is really being sold hard. But then you might see Goldman Sachs sitting on the bid all by himself, advertising to buy. Yep, take it, take it, take it. Could be a woman, could be a man, it doesn't matter. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. Red, 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 red. So you scream out in the room, this stock is well bid. I don't know what stock it is. This stock is well bid. Goldman's holding up the bid. This stock is well bid. Goldman's holding up the bid. That means that the mass of money that Goldman is allocating, they love this stock right now. And we don't want to quote Wall Street right now, but Endicott Steel loves this stock, right? So what does that mean to you as a trader? That means somebody with a lot more research, a lot more money, somebody who can move a stock is buying this stock. Do you think that's information you can use? 100%. 100%. So as time evolved over the years from April 2000 and beyond, I started to get to the point, well, how do I use this in today's market? How do I use this where I'm not watching and glued to the screen and watching every single tick? Well, I came up with the concept of well bid and well offered. And this is really one of the biggest breakthroughs of following the smart money and making your day 10 times easier, where you will have incredibly, incredibly predictable, easier wins just by following the smart money. So if we take a look at the basic candlestick, this candlestick is green because it opened down here and closed up here. That means in my world, that's an energy type candlestick. It's energy because it opened here and closed here and it was sustained. Now, what's the beauty of this is that when you have consecutive energy candlesticks and higher highs, higher lows, you close above the previous high, you close above the previous close, that is what we call this, and pushing it higher. So Goldman Sachs, the same as we looked on the previous candle, Goldman Sachs is buying and creating higher prices, buying and creating higher prices. It's the same thing, just seen in chart format. It's a pretty amazing thing. So when you start to see well bid, well bid, well bid, you start to get this much simpler, easier way of looking at the market, and bam, like that. Now you can tell this stock is well bid. Somebody, I don't know who, let's just call them the smart money, is holding this stock up. Keep your trading that simple. That's the only thing that matters. But where this really gets exciting is now you start to do this on higher time frames, and you start to combine a candlestick on the monthly chart, the weekly chart, the daily chart, and just like that, you know what you're looking at. So next thing we're going to talk about is change from the open, which is what makes that candlestick green. Great traders, profitable traders are always seeking confirmation. They want to seek right now, do I have the same bias right now that I had on that monthly chart? We want to know if today's order flow, which is holding the bid, well bid, pushing higher highs, higher lows, is today's order flow trading with the long-term order flow. I'm going to show you exactly how to find that in a second. So change from the open gives us this answer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the last price and its relationship to the open price and the color of your candlestick in that time frame. So we just covered that. Well bid and a large energy candlestick and consecutive energy candlesticks tell you that right now that stock is well bid. So today's order flow is trading in sync with the longer term. So how do you determine longer term, right? That's the big thing. So you want to know, yeah, the smart money is buying this stock for a long time. They're buying it for a week, a month, 2 months. Yeah, that's great, but what is it doing today? That's where the beauty of what we're about to cover happens. Perfect trades happen when those two are in sync. The further you get from perfect, the longer it takes for you to get paid. So I just described to you, and I'm going to show you on the next slide what perfect looks like. So you have perfect, and then you have everything that's not perfect. So if you think about it, if you know what perfect looks like, you know exactly what you're looking for. And then when you don't see perfect, remember what I just said, if it's hard to find, it's not there. It's those trades that are not perfect that you make, all your fault, what you take, that's the reason you struggle. That's the reason you doubt your ability. So now that you understand what perfect looks like, I'm going to show you on the next slide how to find it. So change from the open plus order flow. This is a perfect image of DocuSign from earlier in the summer, where it's very clear to you right now, or at least it should be, well bid, closing near the highs, well bid, closing near the highs, well bid, closing near the highs on a monthly chart and a weekly chart. And I'm going to talk about this in a second, and then on a daily chart. So let's just take a look at the last 2 candlesticks on all of these charts. Well bid on the monthly chart, well bid on the weekly chart, well bid on the daily chart. That's a scenario that if this day here was unfolding, as long as you're above the open price, you're consistently, confidently, predictably on the right side of those trades, which makes trading a heck of a lot easier. Now, I want to talk about what's not perfect. So if you understand like that what perfect looks like, this is the same stock, and what we call the tape has changed. So you can see this scenario for a few months was perfect, but now the last 2 months has not been perfect. And you can see it really much more clearly here on the weekly chart, and then you can see it here on the daily chart. So the point that I want to get across here is once you have a picture in your mind of exactly what a perfect trade looks like, which is energy candlesticks, which is consecutive energy candlesticks. So that means well bid or well offered, right? So well bid and well offered now because the market's been going down, right? Well bid, higher highs, higher lows, closing near the highs on the monthly chart. Then you look at the weekly chart. Then you look at the daily chart. All of this starts to become a very simple picture. And the easier it becomes, the more confidence you have. And that confidence ultimately translates into your account growing and growing and growing with consistency. So this is a very tiny piece of actually understanding how to make money, but I wanted to give you a clearer picture because a lot of charts right now are just kind of all over the place, and we're getting some newer traders trading these scenarios where it's just not clear. And I'm pulling them back in the boot camp, and I'm telling them these are the situations that you lose your confidence. These are the situations where your money gets slowly drained from your account, but that's your choice to get involved in those scenarios. So I'm showing you right now, this is the purest form of reading order flow, the purest form of tape reading, the purest form of finding the perfect trade. And it couldn't be more simpler because you're literally saying Goldman's holding the bid and it's going higher. We're just doing that in chart form right now and giving you a structure to say it's perfect, I'll take those trades. And then you move away from perfect and you start to say to yourself, stay away, because these trades don't make sense, they're not clear. I can't look at this chart and say somebody's definitely in charge and I want to piggyback on that massive buying or selling that they're doing. So watch this video once or twice, and if you really want to invest in yourself, join me in the boot camp for the next 30 days. This is just one tiny piece because then I walk you through this hour by hour and day by day and give you the confidence that you too can be the smart money. So I hope this helped. If you have some feedback, definitely leave me below the video. I'd love to hear from you, and I really hope to see you in the boot camp. Have a great day.